You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
Hey, y'all, it's Jenny Earhart from the Southern Sisters Radio Show. We love to talk about Southern culture, Southern life, everything that makes living in the South so fantastic. So join us every Saturday on AM 920 The Answer at 12 noon. Check us out online at southernsistershome.com.
I'm J.P. Sears. I'm levitating in When's World, and now I'm fully enlightened.
We are with future politician, potential president, J.P. Sears. It's going to happen, bro. You have my vote.
Thank you.
I mean, last time around...
I have it on my vision board. How is this not going to happen?
Go into a little... I'm glad that you brought up the vision board, because I've always viewed, goals as things that people talk about at the beginning of the year, and then by February, they're back to their old ways, eating Girl Scout cookies and letting their gym membership slide by, paying that monthly fee. Go into a little bit about how important the vision board is for people who really don't want to accomplish their goal.
Yeah, I think if you don't want to accomplish your goals, don't use a vision board. If you do want to accomplish your goals, you use a vision board. What the vision board activates, it's the universal law of attraction. So first off, it's a law. It's a definite thing. And the beautiful thing about a vision board is you just put a picture on the vision board of what you want to have happen in your life, your health, whatever it is. And first off, you have to use a picture. You can't write a word because the universe is illiterate. It doesn't know how to read words. But it knows how to understand pictures, much like a child around the age of 4. And then what happens, you want to make sure that you take no action on your goal. Like if you want to get in shape, the last thing you want to do is go waste your time and money buying a gym membership, because that would actually be using the law of action, which is very disrespectful to the law of attraction. So, man, you put a picture on your board, you think about it once in a while, sit on your couch, and, man, it's the law. It's going to manifest in your life for sure.
Right. Griff, as promised, we're back with a Sunday Topic Wheel. And I'm going to do my wrestling announcer voice because I feel the energy. I'm feeling the vibe here in When's World. It's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. I got up. I went to church. I threw $1 in the offering plate, so I feel like I've been atoned for. Is that right? Is that how it works?
Hello, welcome to When's World. It's Sunday. It's just a few minutes after 11 a.m. here.
Dave FM did Resurrection Sunday, or was that 99X?
They call it Resurrection Sunday?
It was back when they played the Sirius Acoustic Coffee House channel.
I love Acoustic Sunrise.
Acoustic Sunrise.
Or Organic whatever.
Organic X.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
That kind of stuff.
Not to be confused with Molly, which, by the way... Since you mentioned it,
what?
Lenny Dykstra back in the news.
Lenny Kravitz.
No.
Want to.
No, not that guy. Not the musician. Okay. The guy who got popped with.
Yeah, the baseball player.
The former baseball player, played with the Phils, the Mets, and probably some other team that is irrelevant. But got popped with marijuana, Molly, a.k.a. MDMA, ecstasy, as the kids would call it.
Yeah. It's like history just keeps repeating itself.
This guy can't get out of his own way, man.
Have you ever seen him interviewed?
No.
I saw him on I think Cowherd show, Colin Cowherd. It was like a live in studio interview. Dykstra's nuts, man.
Colin's drugs, man.
Colin's like laughing at. He's like, Colin can't believe what this guy's saying, and he has all these theories about umpires and like secret conspiracies and stuff.
I mean, he's right. It is all fixed. Let me be honest.
It's wild, man. And Colin's just, his mind is blown by this.
Dude, the fix is in, and this is the fix.
Sports, politics.
Yep. We cover it all in When's World, and. Dude, some of the calls that I'm seeing in baseball games are outrageous. Not to mention the Phillies only allowing 3 runs against the Braves in last week's series. Unbelievably awesome.
Yeah,
Phillies
cool.
are going to win the NL East.
Okay.
It's clear. The Braves still look okay.
Okay, the best team in the National League still.
By a half a game at this point, but it's fine.
Ozzy Albies, National League MVP.
He's that strung out rock and roll singer that does Ozzy Fest, right? Is that the same guy?
I think.
Baby. Number 9, if you're keeping track. In case you weren't, Griffin signed a very lucrative contract with a local chain of retail stores that looks like a bullseye. We can't exactly call the company out, but I think we're on target with our assessment of the situation. Look, I got to be honest. I love Target. I'm a frequent shopper there. We'll walk
Which
in
one
there.
do you go to?
I frequent the one in Canton.
Okay, that's a nice one.
It's very nice.
There's some
very chic.
Okay, I know where you live. I used to live up there in Gobblerville. Gobblerville, though, has relocated out to East Alabama.
Yep.
God's country.
Yep.
So, but up in the old Gobblerville up there, there's
Unincorporated
Gobblerville. There's lots of Targets up there.
Lots of Targets.
But I preferred the Canton one as well.
I like the one with the PetSmart next door, so we can go and I can tease my son with the idea that I'll have a childhood pet.
Don't they hate? Yeah.
And then I just say, hey, instead of a real dog, we're gonna go pet Spot in Target. The little
Dude, my kids
statue
love
guy.
Spot though.
Yeah.
Like they go in there and like they just stand at Spot the whole time and want to they're grabbing him and hugging him because we only have 2 cats. I'm not going to get a dog.
You still have that
I
cat
have
that
2
peed
kids.
on your bed?
I still have it.
How's that relationship going with that cat?
Oh man.
Is it the wife that wants to keep the cat?
I guess I bought the cat a new bed.
And it wants to sleep in your bed, doesn't
No,
it?
it's not allowed in my bed. But kids like fake dogs.
They do. And you know what? I love fake dogs,
And the
too.
Canton Target is the better Target.
Absolutely.
It's better than the Woodstock Targets. There's like 2 in Woodstock.
It's the bullseye of the Targets. Huh?
You got that right.
You see what I did there? But let's get back to real news.
Real news.
Real news. And that is,
For your Sunday morning.
we were talking yesterday, if you recall.
Yeah, yesterday.
About
I slept here all night.
You did. You did. And
I
you,
smell.
And you did not brush your teeth, and it is rank in here.
I went to Starbucks next door, got a coffee. Mm-hmm. I had some onions.
You did your daily devotional at Starbucks, but
did.
you made sure people knew that you were reading the Bible.
I pulled out all the books.
Yeah, because it doesn't count unless people
All of them
know
were
about
open.
it. Did you check in? Did you check in at
I
Starbucks?
checked in from Starbucks. Said
Okay.
At Starbucks in Buckhead. I shouldn't say where we are.
Oh boy!
Oops.
Ignore Buckhead.
Buckhead.
He meant Bartow. We were in Bartow County.
At Starbucks in Bartow County.
The only one in Bartow
Next-
County.
next
Next to Walmart.
Next.
Hey, and if you're in
No,
Bartow,
it's the one in Ingalls.
do you think we reached Bartow County?
It's one of those.
I don't know if
Yeah.
we reached.
At this time of the day, yeah.
But you're probably streaming live on your smartphone.
We're on the radio.
You're on the radio?
Yeah,
Okay, we're on the radio.
Somehow we picked up there.
We got it all
It's on
covered.
like 1790 AM or something somehow.
You had a theory
About the NFL?
about the blue collar workers of America.
That's not a theory. I was trying to finish a thought yesterday. Basically,
You literally have a blue collar on today.
I do. It's a navy blue.
You're representing the people, your constituents.
Navy blue. I had a meeting today, and navy blue is a power color. I went with the power. I showed some power.
Is that what Tom Ford would say?
Tom Ford?
Yeah.
Who's that?
The guy who makes these like girly suits for men to wear?
Oh, I listened to the guy.
Tom Waits?
No.
Tom Sullivan?
No.
Tom Clancy, Tom Petty, Tom
I do listen to a lot of
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a good one too. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Oh, man.
Back in the news next week.
New
We'll cover that next
new
week.
Uniforms.
New uniforms.
Oh, they're so hot.
New you, new year, new uniform.
New me.
New me.
Um,
Donald Trump, NFL standing. I'm sorry, we're very jacked up on
have you seen-
caffeine right
okay,
now.
Yeah, it's been a rough.
But you have a theory that
No,
that-
they're tuning away from the NFL. They're not watching as much NFL anymore. Blue collar, middle, Trump America, like they
Trump
call it.
America.
Trump America. They're not watching it. So the NFL did this when they had no reason to truly do it. They're just trying to, I guess, appease and say, "Hey, look what we did, Trump America. We are patriotic." I think they're day late, dollars short on this deal. First off, and I think they messed it up on two folds. First off, they're ticking off all the liberals because it's.
But aren't liberals always mad at something or somebody?
But if the NFL would have just let this die down on its own, it already was naturally dying down. It wouldn't have been a big deal. Now, this week, it's become a big deal. Now, players are saying, oh, we're not going to kneel, but we're going to go out there. We'll stand, but we're going to do some other type of gesture.
Like, give the flag the finger? What exactly
Like maybe
do you
the
mean?
Wakanda, the big Black Panther movie. They have like a thing where they cross their arms over their chest.
Maybe it's cold.
They claim they'll do that as a sign of protest. So they'll stand out.
So you're endorsing a Marvel movie.
I'm not. Well, I guess they are. So the NFL dipped its toe in this when it was dumb.
Yeah.
So they're ticking off them, and then I think Trump Americans are going to realize this is a half-hearted, last-minute type of effort by the NFL. It's not genuine. They're just trying to appease and whatever the word is
Their constituents.
to the constituents
Yes,
of Trump
the voters,
America,
the NFL voters.
thinking that'll help ratings go back up, and it's not because they see right through it. So they're ticking off both sides of the aisle. I think it's a dumb move by the NFL. They could have just naturally let this go away, which it was which was happening, but now it's not. Now they've riled everyone back up on both sides, and it's become this huge issue. And I think, frankly, ratings are going to go down even more this year. And not just because of fragmentation of TV and more people streaming and all this. It's because of their dumb moves like this. This was unnecessary by the NFL. Now, I will say this. They had every right to do this as a company.
Sure. That's
a company
business.
does. And it's people, First Amendment. No,
But
you're
they
a company.
didn't do it because they actually feel this way. If they actually
Right,
felt this
exactly,
way, they would have done it 2 years ago
Exactly.
when Colin Kaepernick was the pioneer in this whole process. Instead, they waited to see how the numbers would pan out. And that is why I'm more leaning toward the kneelers now. Because now I realize I already knew that Goodell was a total goon, and he is a goon. And the only reason he's doing this is because the owners are pressuring them to come out with something official saying, this is the new protocol. Here's what they should do.
Yeah.
Instead of airing the national anthem on TV, it should be something that you only experience when you're there. But they're exploiting the controversy
Of course
anyway.
they are. It's TV. It's all about
nothing
ratings.
to do with
it's all about to get
patriotism.
eyeballs on it. No,
Yep.
it's nothing about. No, I totally agree with you.
It's goonish, and now Goodell is going to come out and probably wear an American flag on his lapel and pretend like, all along I wanted to be the one to come out, but I also had to. By the way, the NFLPA has come out and said, whoa, we got to check this rule against our collective bargaining agreement we signed back in 2012 and see how it stacks up. Because if there's no clear-cut language about this very thing, this whole idea is going to be thrown out the window like yesterday's sandwich from Starbucks, the overpriced one you bought. I told you not to buy it. I told you it was
got
bad.
it. Yeah, and sometimes you have to check the dates on those because those workers aren't always the best about pulling the
Dirty fingernails.
I got the protein box with the egg, and man, that egg, woo,
Bad idea.
smelled.
It's like buying food at the gas station. What are you doing? Why would you ever buy eggs at a gas station?
Oh yeah, that's.
I'm even concerned about buying like bananas at gas stations.
I'm very skeptical. That's only in a pinch. Will I buy a banana?
Absolutely.
And it's not for me ever. I give it to my child.
Right.
I'm not eating that.
Potassium.
No, I'm not eating that nonsense.
Ignore the tarantula that's crawling all over the
Here,
bananas.
son, eat this. You want a banana? Here's your
Chipper,
banana.
eat up.
Eat up.
So that's the topic wheel for this Sunday. Next week, we're coming back. There's a lot of NFL OTA news. By the way, as we close,
Yeah.
before we get to our obligatory Tom Petty lyric,
Oh no.
I want to make clear
Baby.
number 10, that the Philadelphia Eagles will repeat because Nick Foles turned down a trade. Eagles gave him the opportunity to get out with the 35th overall pick in the 2018 NFL draft. They've decided Nick Foles is staying around for another year.
Oh.
He's not going to the Cleveland Browns because Cleveland wanted him.
Carson Wentz is more hurt than we realized.
I think there's something to this.
Eagles.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about. I'm not completely convinced that Carson's ready to go for Week 1.
The Atlanta Braves are still the best team in all of baseball.
That's debatable.
We'll see.
We'll get to that point. Phillies are looking better than ever with Gabe the Babe Kapler.
Yeah.
By the way, one of the local Atlanta writers, Josh Brown, I don't know if you've heard of him. No. He's an up-and-coming writer. He does really good stuff.
Josh
Not
Decker?
hating. No, not Josh Decker. He got hit by a car.
No.
But yeah, he's no longer with us. His ego is dead. But somebody posted a picture of Gabe Kapler because he was a swimsuit model.
Oh, yeah?
And that guy is just one handsome guy. I just want to put that out there.
Who's handsomer? Gabe Kapler or Jimmy Garoppolo?
And we're going to answer that question next week right here in
That's
Wens
called a
World.
tease.
That's what you call a tease. By the way, in the meantime, we don't tease something we won't deliver on. We're going to deliver on that. And we're also going to deliver freaky fast quinceañeras and bar mitzvah celebrations. Connect with us, GwinnettGobblers.com. We're very affordable. Actually, we'll probably pay you to come to your party. As long as they're cupcakes and brisket, I'm there.
Yeah, we'll pay for our own gas
We'll pay for our own gas.
and show up.
We usually do. But before we leave, we never like to leave a segment with the Gobbler without the sage lyrical wisdom of one zombie, Tom Petty.
Listen to her heart. Baby!
Number 11.
The Out of Control Atlanta Traffic Watch.
It's never quite right until we have the voice of Atlanta traffic. Back with us in the world of Wens, Mr. Chris Monroe, how have you been,
The
sir?
most powerful voice in all thy land.
Wens World's officially certified bachelor.
I like that. I like that.
I saw you came in with your certificate of authenticity.
I did.
Looking
It's
good. It's in mint
number
condition.
00001 on their certificate. You know, it's been certified by the Guild, the Bachelor Guild of America.
Well, it's actually great timing because,
Yeah.
as you know, later on we're going to have Buckhead's #1 matchmaker. No online dating nonsense, no
Right.
fictitious profiles, no swiping, none of that nonsense. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here in Wens World with our friend Jennifer from One-on-One Matchmaking.
Oh, like old school matchmaking, like in person, real people. Unlike millennials that I don't like to talk on the phone. I just like to text forever. Ugh.
Emojis.
Ugh.
Ugh. I sent the poop emoji back on that. That's-
Endless texting. It's like I don't. No. What's the purpose?
Yeah. Plus, you can't text and drive, and texting and driving, I believe, is the catalyst for all these issues we've had in the last week on the Atlanta roadways. The land of the never-ending crash has been living up to its name. I'm verklempt, as they say in the old country.
Yes.
I'm concerned, man, because I drive in from Canton, God's country, and I see the sign above me talking about all the fatalities that have happened. We're not even
Right.
halfway through the year.
It's like 800 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it weird that when I see that sign, I literally picture 800 people standing by each other? It's about a quarter mile of people.
And how many of those are obviously distracted driving stuff? But I think we've put a lot of emphasis on cell phones, but there's a lot of other things that distract people behind the wheel. Women putting on mascara, that's always been a problem.
I'm usually clipping my toenails.
Well,
You only need 1 foot to drive, so I'll switch.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And I understand you do not drive with shoes.
I do not. I have a strict policy in my car, no
Okay.
shoes. I don't even, when I drop my son off at daycare, I don't even put his socks and shoes on until we get to daycare.
Huh.
I want him to feel the earth and the wind and nature on
I
his
feel
feet.
the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky come tumbling down.
Tumbling down. A little Carole King for you right
Yeah.
here on 920 The Answer.
On the big 920 WGKA.
We're not officially licensed to play that music. Please do not sue us.
Hey, I've got some good news, though.
What's the good news?
At least for throughout this Memorial Day weekend, GDOT has suspended all of the construction on the expressway system.
That is great news.
Yeah, so they're not there'll be no lane closures, no overnight lane closures all weekend, but there'll be all the people trying to go to Florida. And so all weekend it'll just be a mess.
Picking up their drugs and OJ.
I guess. I don't know what the lure of Florida is. I mean, once you've seen Disney World once, yeah, okay, great.
Dude, it's Orlando. I don't understand how you don't understand how cool Florida actually is.
Well, maybe we'll have to do a full segment on the spoils of Florida, because I think it's God's waiting room and America's basement toilet. And my dad's from Miami, okay? So I've been all up and down Florida, dude. I've been all over,
So you mean to tell us there's no road work on the interstate. So
Yeah.
if we do get kind of funneled into a long line, it's probably not road work. It's probably that inevitable Memorial Day weekend DUI checkpoint.
Checkpoint. They're going to be checkity-check before you wreckety-wreck, okay?
Now, this is the weekend to use Uber. Especially if you've been using the Duber, you want to call an Uber.
Do the Lyft folks still put that big mustache on their car? That big pink mustache?
No, but they do have that really annoying neon at the very
that
front
thing,
of their car.
like in there, yeah. Yeah, that looks like a
vacancy
spaceship.
sign.
Yeah. No.
The
Yes.
hotel about a mile from my house literally has a sign. They crossed out HBO. It's like they used a gallon of whiteout.
Right.
So they do
Color
have air
TV.
conditioning. Yeah,
Air conditioning.
They literally have color TV.
Yeah, I love that.
It's awesome.
It's old school, man.
It is awesome. I literally want to take my wife for a night to the local hotel. Maybe stop at Walmart, pick
what
up a
was
couple
cool
things.
is when I was out on the West Coast, I was out in L.A., there's a lot of mid-century motels that have survived out there, and but they've been preserved to be the way they were, especially from Santa Monica Pier, and you go south of all these little motels that are really cute in the way I remember as a kid, and they have the yes and no neon sign and color TV, air conditioning, HBO, vibrating beds for $25. The Massage-O-Matic bed. Have you ever been to a...
I've never hopped on a massage bed.
Yeah, I remember being a kid and going to the Stuckey's and then a Howard Johnson.
The
Hojo. And
Just to let you know.
Yeah, that's it. Some fried clam strips. That was what they were known for back in the day. There's just no cool stuff like... So when I was out there were tons...
Please ignore the health code score.
Who cares about that?
82?
But you know what, dude? It's so subjective.
You don't really need to refrigerate the fish.
Well, no, but it's not even that. It's like you can do something and some bucket can be too close to something, take 18 points off.
You put your cigarette out in the fryer one more time, I'm docking you 5 more points.
Not quite that bad. But I the VP of the Gift of Music Foundation was a chef for 12 years, so he's worked in a restaurant for a long time. So he knows the BS. It's another government works employee program for the Department of Health Services. They're not doing anything. I mean, yeah, once in a while you find the Chinese restaurant that has some rats back there or whatever, but, rats.
Hey, Rizzo needs
protein.
work too, man.
Yeah, you got.
We saw how great of workers they were in the Muppets Take Manhattan. I can't personally understand why we're so willing to hire undocumented migrants and not willing to put the rodents, the hardworking rodents in our city streets to work before.
Listen, some of those rats could probably do heavy-duty road work in New York, if you've ever seen those rats. Those things are the size of like a St. Bernard. Yeah. I mean, that's like, New York's yay. So
what can we anticipate besides the DUI roadblocks this weekend?
I would say if you're going to be up on any of the lakes, Lanier, Allatoona, or, even up at Hartwell, there's going to be a lot of enforcement out there. There'll be the DUI boating under the influence, buoy, which is a nautical term.
Just being able to say that without stuttering is like cause for concern. Like I couldn't even say it stone sober. Like buoy. Right this way, sir.
Right. But so there'll be and just be smart. I mean, the honest thing is just to be smart. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a little fun, but it's if you're not 13 years old, you have a brain to know that there's consequences for your actions. So just be smart.
Yeah,
don't do something stupid that could not only injure yourself, but could hurt or kill other people, change your life forever, and and then back up traffic for people for 20 miles.
And I think the most prudent thing that we can do at this point is give out your cell phone numbers. That way, if Uber's backed up and people don't want to deal with a hotel blinking Lyft sign, that they can reach out to the Voice of Atlanta Traffic. And that's what 404 traffic.
404 traffic.
Right.
Yes.
And if it keeps ringing, keep trying.
Keep trying.
Somebody will get back to you. We do value your call.
Your call is valued and will be answered in the order in which it was received. If you'd like to leave a callback number now, press 1. You won't leave your place in the queue. We'll call you in the order in which it was received. Para Español, oprime del ocho.
Chris Monroe, dude, I love when you come back to the World of Winds, man. You are a staple here. So how can people connect with you besides the Gift of Music Foundation?
That's really, more than anything, that's how I want people to connect with me. I want people to go to the foundation and support us through instrument donations, through money donations, and volunteering. Giftofmusic.org, giftofmusic.org, and on Facebook. You can find us by just searching Gift of Music, and you'll see all the great work we're doing.
You're a beautiful man. Thanks for coming back, man.
Not as beautiful as you there, big guy.
Oh. You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new you ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
This is Jenny Earhart with Southern Sisters Radio, and I'm your Southern Sister. In case you didn't know, you can check us out every Sunday at 2 p.m. right here on KLRN. And I'd love to hear from you. Email me at radio@southernsistershome.com.
The legendary rock drummer Carmine Appice travels the country and continent, spreading the contagious, driving, thundering drum rhythm that thump your rump and roll your soul. Carmine Appice spans the globe, never resting his sticks or feet and pledging to all to rock till you drop. Where in the world is Carmine?
Come out, wherever you are.
Where the hell is Carmine?
So where in the world is Carmine Appice, and what are you up to?
This week I'm on the road with Vanilla Fudge. We're playing at the Abbey Road Festival in Indiana. 2 nights in which we'll be playing some of the Beatles songs that we recorded. One especially that they play all the time on the Beatle channel on Sirius Radio. And we got those 2 gigs. Then we have another gig in Scottsdale, Arizona, and another one sort of outside Tulsa, a couple of hours at a casino. So it's going to be a week of Vanilla Fudge playing and a few days off in Arizona, which will be a lot of fun. And Leslie's going to meet me out there, my girlfriend. We're going to go out to Sedona and hang out for a couple of days. And while we're doing all that, we're still putting all these Rascal shows together, and I'm looking for a time period to do some more shows with my brother Vinny, the Peace Drum War shows. Vinny's over in Europe now doing some of those shows without me because I didn't want to go to Europe after my medical emergency I had in January. So I'm playing with the Rascals and Vanilla Fudge this summer. We're doing a Hippie Fest 2 weeks with Vanilla Fudge on the East Coast and the Northeast. Then I'm doing 4 shows in Florida with the Hippie Fest with Vanilla Fudge. And the rest of the summer is going to be with the Rascals. So there you have it. And got some dates in June with Cactus as well. I'll tell you about that later. Okay, it's Carmine signing off. It's getting warm in New York City. Nice summer day. Winter's gone. Okay, bye.
Right. You know how you drive to work and you see specific storefronts where you're like, how on earth does this kind of business make it in today's day and age? Well, that is the case for yours truly, because every day on my way to work, I drive by this matchmaking brick and mortar store. And I've always wanted to stop by and see if it's not some like underground drug ring run by this illegal cartel that we'll see on the news 6 weeks from now. No, it is not. It is legit. It is one-on-one matchmakers right here in Buckhead in the ATL. And I'm here with the one and only Jennifer, the lady that answered the call because it's by appointment only. See, that's another thing that made me wonder, like, who am I dealing with? Am I going to survive this exchange? But I did, and I'm here to tell you about it. Jennifer, welcome to When's World. How are you?
Thanks, Joey. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's really cool. So you answer the door. Well, you didn't answer the door. One of your associates answered the door.
Right.
And immediately I got frisked and patted down. And I felt like that was appropriate. You never know who you're dealing with. But after that initial screening, I got to talk to you. You came running outside after me and said, wait, are you selling something? No? All right, come on in. So we sat down and you were like...
You asked me about our business and I told you what we did.
Not the drug thing, the matchmaking thing.
Yeah, right. That's
Okay.
side. That's the side gig. We have two different businesses. My good friend Sarah Catherine Smith owns the business, and there's two different single services. One of them is called 8 at 8 Dinner Club. It's called 8 at 8 because it's 4 men and 4 women having dinner at roughly 8 o'clock. It's really fun. It's been in Atlanta for 20 years. We do at least 3 tables of 8 with educated professionals, and we're basically matching the tables based on stage in life. So that's been around 20 years, and then in 2008, Sarah Catherine launched one-on-one matchmaking because people just wanted more specific, customized matchmaking and not to meet them in a group. So I run the matchmaking service for Sarah Catherine.
Why wouldn't people just go online to find dates? I mean, you see the commercials, you hear them on the radio.
Yeah.
Why would I come to your brick and mortar shop instead of just going to matchsomething.com?
Yeah, it's a good question. And I got to tell you, when the apps came out, Tinder and all that stuff, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I was totally worried that we wouldn't make it. But I think what happened is what I heard about in my economics class in college. Online dating hit a peak and everybody got on it. And it's free and everybody's doing it. So it actually hit on the decline. It's almost like there's too many people doing it to take it seriously.
Right.
And people are just looking to make a true connection. And what's happening online is people aren't even actually meeting each other anymore. They're just surfing it. It's sad.
So you mentioned Tinder, and that's a totally different thing than most of these other dating sites. Tinder is pretty much a hookup site.
Pretty much. I mean, that's the reputation it's got, but there's been Bumble and Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel and all these spin-offs from it. And, Match.com has always been around, but that's what I think is happening. I mean, Tinder got to be a hookup site, so people did Bumble, and now Bumble, that's getting infiltrated too, where people aren't actually meeting.
Okay, fill me in, because like I said, I've been out of the game so long. So Tinder is both dudes and dudettes trying to hook up with each other.
Right.
Now, it's my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that Bumble is the ladies trying to hook up with the gentlemen.
The ladies reach out first on Bumble, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned bagels and cream cheese?
Coffee and bagel. I don't know about them all either, Joey. I mean, I'm married too.
And there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options,
right.
And that's overwhelming for people. And I think a lot of people are on multiple sites. And if they're a pretty smart woman, they're getting hit on by everybody.
Right.
The trash man, the president of a technology company, a 75-year-old man, to where they just don't want to do it anymore.
So what are some of the general things that you hear consistently? So when people say these things, you just nod like, I've heard it before.
Yeah. I talk to people, and I would say 98% of the time when I talk to people, they have tried online dating and they're frustrated. And they're busy and they're successful and they really value their time and they don't want to weed through all that stuff.
So why are they frustrated?
Because they feel like they're meeting people that aren't serious about being in a relationship. Number one, the women are frustrated usually and the men too. But, I'd say overall, if I had to segment differences between women and men, the women would say that the men aren't financially stable and they're not seriously seeking a relationship.
Whoa. Just because I live in my parents' basement does not make me I'm saving up. I'm saving up for the next major purchase. The new Madden's coming out in a few months. I got to be right. You know what I mean?
I know, but my girl working her way up the ranks at Price Waterhouse or to be a partner in a law firm is not wanting to date that dude in her parents' basement.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to reassess my goals if I'm one of these guys.
Yeah.
So financial stability, you mentioned that. What are some other hot button issues?
I have a great guy that mentioned that he dated a girl for, a month and a half and it was hot and heavy and she ghosted him. I have both sexes talking about how they're ghosting.
What does that mean? Ghosted.
You are out of it, Joey.
I'm telling you, man. I'm using dial-up internet right now, as a matter of fact, while I'm talking to you.
So it's just where they have a mini relationship. And I had this happen to me too. I mean, I definitely online dated back in the day, where you date them and it's like a month and a half and it's serious, or maybe even a month and you're talking every day, and then the other person just literally stops calling them.
Like altogether?
Altogether.
Is
they
called
met their
ghosting?
family. It's called ghosting. It's like a mini relationship, or and the person just disappears.
Weird. So ghosting, financial stability, and what else
And just
would you
people
say?
not serious about wanting to be in relationships. I mean, I've definitely had women tell me about meeting married men, meeting men that were newly divorced, and, just really not at a place where they're ready to date.
So these women are going on to dating sites and meeting men that are married that have profiles on these online dating sites.
Right. If you were a married man, online dating would probably be the easiest way to cheat, right?
I guess. I mean, we all saw the fallout with Ashley Madison a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Is that site still around? I mean, I've never been there.
I think so,
I don't
yeah.
know, but,
Yeah,
from what
I think
hear.
so.
Okay.
I do.
These are issues, the financial stability, parents' basement, Ghost, not featuring Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore,
Mm-hmm.
and dating married people. Usually that's going to cause some initial conflict, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. But another thing that I think happens too is that people only reach out to who is their ideal person. Right?
Okay.
And sometimes, my ideal person might be George Clooney. I'm not as skinny as them all.
I mean,
I'm not
me
as
too.
worldly
If
as
I'm
them
being
all.
honest, he
doesn't want to
hot.
date me.
Pretty hot.
So people say it's not working, but everybody's just reaching out to their dream person. So it's almost like they need an intermediary to dial it down and get it rational.
Are you noticing this trend? And this is exactly what I would do if I were to fill out an online date. First of all, I would run 8 miles so my face is super thin.
Yeah.
I do my obligatory 14 push-ups.
Right.
And 10 crunches so I look super swole and fit.
Yeah.
I'd probably do some sort of wrap to lose 8 pounds around the midriff, the waist, because I got a hella muffin top going on right now.
Nice.
I'm proud of it. And once you're married, you can get away with these things.
Yeah.
But if you're single and looking to mingle, it's really difficult because you almost have to put on this false front, right?
Totally.
And you can't really be you. Like if it were me and I had to go back and do it, probably wouldn't. But if I did, I would say, okay, first date, we're going out to eat spaghetti or chicken wings because I'm getting the awkwardness out of the way. I'm dunking the blue cheese.
That's the way to get them, Joey. Chicken wings out the gate.
That's what I'm saying, though, because you want them to know you. You want them to know your dirty laundry so I don't waste any time, right?
Yeah.
Do you deal with people that are trying to avoid that necessary tension, per se?
That are trying to avoid the necessary tension of blind dating? Or just dating?
The necessary tension of dealing with people's reality, dealing with people's baggage, dealing with the wing sauce stain on my shirt that you'll probably see if we go out on this first date kind of thing.
I think this is what's happening. Everybody is trying to project their best self-image like they do on Facebook.
Right.
You only see them, with their lovely family at a perfect time, adorable pictures with their kids and their friends out, looking great, photoshopped, whatever. And that's what they're putting online. And they know that when they come to another person, that they can say, is she attractive? I mean, is she fit? When I say fit, is she really fit? Does she look young? Or, when he said he was Christian, where does he go to church? Does he practice
right.
what he preaches? Do you feel like he's truly humble? Do you know why he got a divorce? I mean, they can find out a lot of details because it really should. I feel like a good matchmaker should feel like a friend setting them up on a date. And they just can't get that because everybody's marketing themselves.
So how can you read through the BS?
I got to tell you, it's not perfect, but because, you're right. I mean, I can be snowed under, but overall, number one, I've been a matchmaker for 12 years.
Okay.
I hired matchmakers myself. I went through the process myself. I did online dating, several online dates, and I hired matchmakers 2 different times. So I have a lot of personal experience and professional experience, and I think I'm pretty emotionally intelligent, having interviewed hundreds of people. There is a difference between what people perceive about themselves and what other people see. For instance, I had a woman tell me today how young she looked. And, she's 55 years old, and she said, I look younger than my age. I looked her up. I'm like, you look 58, actually. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not seeing reality. Maybe because I see, 50 people a month, I know what she actually looks like compared with the rest of society. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So appearance is one thing. Does that make sense? A lot of people think that they're truly kind, but you're not kind to my staff.
Right.
You seem snotty to me. But do you see what I'm saying?
Selective kindness.
Right. So I think how others perceive you, I'm just a neutral party. I'm just a neutral party, and I'm trying to tell you what is best and brightest about you. And then, I maybe notice the things that you're overselling yourself on.
So if I were to create a profile, the best advice you could give me, obviously, would be honest.
Mm-hmm.
How honest should I be? You know what I mean?
I would tell you not to online date and hire me. But here's the truth. if you online date, you should ask somebody else to write your profile for you who knows you well.
Oh.
Because you don't see yourself the reality.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, for instance, like, I may be very hard on myself and only notice the things I'm like, well, people think I'm aggressive and direct. And maybe other people don't actually see me that way because that's how I know myself, right?
Sure.
But I've evolved into a different person as I've gotten more mature. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So your perception of yourself is not always reality.
So ask a friend or a frenemy or somewhere in between.
A friend. You should ask a good friend.
A good friend, okay.
How would they describe you so that you know it's accurate?
But make sure you proofread it before you post it.
Of course.
And
yeah.
Just to make sure that it's not
if
too
you have
honest.
to do online dating.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but that's
if
something...
you make enough money, you should hire me instead.
So when people come in, they say, hey, so what kind of package deals do you guys do? Do you have like a Groupon deal? Like, how much am I looking to spend to find somebody worth a darn?
So 888 Dinner Club is $450.
Okay.
And it's for a package of dinners. But they would meet at least 12 to 20 professional people around their age range that are truly single, not separated.
Okay. How do you know?
They have some things in common with.
How do you know if they're single or like separated?
Well, we ask them. I mean, they fill out a profile and it says, are you married, divorced, separated? And they just fill it out. And if they're separated, we tell them we can't take them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if they say they're married?
Then I would say, why did you call me?
Okay. I just want to make sure that was also a no-go kind of
Definitely
thing.
no.
But for an extra $50, we can...
And like, how ballsy would you have to be to join a dating service meeting 20 professional singles in the heart of Buckhead and be married? I mean, nobody's going to do that.
Well, I don't know. There's probably somebody out there.
Like, that is the least subtle way to go about cheating, honestly.
Join this dinner club. I don't know.
There's like all these people. Yeah.
Because everybody knows somebody that knows somebody.
Totally.
That's
that would
the
be
truth.
Yeah, totally.
So they come to you. They say, never been married, or I have a clean divorce. She signed the papers. I got the dog, though. So I'm in good shape. She got the house and all the bills. I got the dog.
Yeah.
So what would that look like? I'm coming in. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do this. Let's get back on the market. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I try to just to get to know you guys a little bit over the phone and tell you a little bit about the company so you feel comfortable opening up.
Sure.
But after that, I would ask you what your goals are. I'd say, hey, you're newly divorced. Do you want to play along and do this, Joey, like a newly divorced guy, so I could tell you? I don't know. But I would say, what are your goals? Do you want to just get back out there and start dating? Were you married 15 years? Or do you hate the idea of dating and just really want to meet somebody that you would settle down with right away? If you said your goal was to, get married again and you knew what your type was, I would encourage you to hire a matchmaker. If you didn't know what your goal was, I would tell you to do 888 because you're going to meet a lot of people really quickly and you'll figure it out.
What are the common goals that you hear, generally speaking? Obviously, there will be some people that are like, I don't know what I want. I kind of just want to get an idea of what I want, but I feel like if I don't go out there, I'll never know what I want, that kind of thing. Or do you get a lot more kind of decisive?
Yeah, I get decisive people. I mean, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of really successful people that are super driven, they are decisive. They know exactly what their type is.
Right.
I like a petite girl who's sweet, who's type B, kind, and has older kids, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, whoa, you need to hire a matchmaker.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Talked a lot about what the guys are looking for, but what are the ladies usually looking for? Because you said the guys looking for petite, older kids.
Well, just not in general. I don't want to say that guys never like a, voluptuous woman or something.
Sure.
But I'm just saying that if they get very specific about what their physical type is and personality traits, they need to hire a matchmaker if they have a real specific type. And I think a lot of people with money, I hate to say it, but it's kind of like they buy a nice car. They want all the bells and whistles, right? I mean, they wouldn't want to do it in a group setting. They know exactly what they want. They want individual attention. They want on the night they want it. And they hire matchmakers.
So how many clients would you say you have in the hopper ready to match?
We have at least 200 clients on average, and 12 to 15 people join a month. But the coolest thing about what we do is when we take on a client, we can recruit specifically for them and find somebody that is even out of the network if it's a perfect match for them.
Interesting. So let's say there's somebody listening right now that's ready to eat some wings.
Yes.
Drop the spaghetti sauce. They're ready to eat.
Yes. Okay.
These meals, are they really there to eat? Or are they really just there to kind of like have a martini and chat? Like, how much eating is there really?
Well, so I met my husband through a matchmaker, and I encourage people to eat because if you like each other, and you probably will if I'm your matchmaker 80% of the time, then you need to eat some food you're drinking. Probably after work. That's all.
But that's going to kill the buzz, right?
Well, I mean, it's a first date. When you kill the buzz a little bit.
Yeah, you got buzz a little bit.
Yeah.
So where are some of these places that you guys take them to? What kind of restaurants are on the docket for this package deal?
For 8 at 8, we go to kind of like nice restaurants, Buckhead Life type places. We're going to a Nice next, which is a great French bistro in Buckhead.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone to F&B a lot. Okay. We've used Tavern Point right down the road. That same guy that owns another restaurant called Camps. We're doing off Paper Mill, and we just started doing a few of them at the Avalon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sitting here talking to Jennifer, and her handler Emily's in studio too. She's the silent partner.
I'm so big dog.
She's like the guns of the operation. She's guarding the door. Nobody's
security
coming
guard,
in here.
matchmakers with security guards.
That's right, as it should be. Right, you have a lot of private information that you're storing up here, so it's important that stays private. But in all seriousness, it seems like you do a great service.
Thanks.
And if somebody's listening, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that's fit some level of this whole process, what's the best way that they can reach out to you, Jennifer?
Well, I love it if they fill out a profile, but I don't mind if they call. I called directly when I hired a matchmaker, but so the best way to do that, our website is one using the numeral, the word on, O-N, one using the numeral again, matchmaking.com. Or they can just call. But if they call, I'm always like in matchmaking mode and trying to matchmake them. So that's why it's helpful to look at the profile to see if it looks like I can match them. So my number or my direct line is 404-355-7828.
All right. So what I want to do is leave that here for this week. When you come back next week, I want to start talking about some of the stories that you've heard. No names shall be associated. They shall remain private.
Fun times.
The overall, serious fun times.
Right.
Some of that stuff, and also some more reasons why you should cancel your online dating subscription and head to oneonOnematchmaking.com. I feel like we're going to help some people. I really do.
Are.
Because I know firsthand how much of a difference it makes in somebody's life when you find somebody that isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect, so you'll never find the perfect partner, but somebody that makes life more fun.
Right.
It's all about that. And I firsthand can tell you how much better life is when you have that somebody. And I think that you are going to help one of the citizens of One's World find that very thing.
That would be awesome.
I'm confident in that. I'm feeling the vibe. I'm feeling the flow, the positivity, all the energy stuff. I don't deal in crystals, okay? So just in case you were wondering. Don't do that. But you got to reach out to Jennifer, 404-355-7828 and oneonOnematchmaking.com. You can also hop on Google, right? And you guys are the first site that isn't an ad that pops up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So matchmakers in Buckhead.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Jennifer, you're awesome. Thanks for spending some time with us here in One's World.
Thanks, Joey. It was fun.
You're in Wynn's World, and it's time for Weird Science.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Weird Science, and it's time to bring our great friends from Reasons to Believe in the great state of California. Reasons.org is where they're found online. This time with Dr. Jeff Swearing. Jeff, how you been, man?
We are doing very well, Joey. How about yourself?
I can't complain. Wouldn't do me any good anyway. You got to pay people to listen and stuff.
Good point.
It's been said that the whole field of plastic surgery has its roots in battlefield trauma. And there's been a recent case of a woman who grew an ear in her forearm from cartilage out of her ribs. Jeff, help me connect the dots with this outlandish story.
Well, it's really kind of an interesting story because when you just kind of do a little bit of research, I'm not an expert in plastic surgery by any stretch, but you just do a little bit of research, and there's a lot of people who have various deformities or maladies or injuries that make things look very different, and they'd like to have that changed. And, so you have people who've lost ears, like this particular soldier in a car accident had done that. And so they were just looking for a way, how can we make a way for this person to have an ear that actually looks like an ear as opposed to just a prosthetic one? Because, again, there's just an image that comes with that the scout would like to, or the soldier would have liked to have avoided. And so they set about trying to build an ear. And what they did was realize that you can refashion other cartilage into a shape, but the problem with that is that it's just cartilage in the shape there, and it doesn't have the blood vessels and the supplies and all that. So they based on some previous research, they realized that you can actually take that cartilage, embed it under the skin, and new blood vessels and arteries and veins will form inside it. And there's even some nerve growth in there so that she'll have feeling in the ear as well. And I just think that's a really remarkable thing that works. I mean, why would an arm work to grow stuff that works in an ear? That's just kind of bizarre at some level.
So I got to know, why do they choose cartilage from the rib area as opposed to somewhere else on her body?
That I don't know. My suspicion is you just got to go somewhere where there's a fair amount of cartilage and do that. But, what's interesting is I've actually done some research, and there's other places where you can actually regrow cartilage. And so there was a story of a group that had taken, basically built a structure of biodegradable materials, or things that when you put them in the body, they would actually degrade in a healthy way, but it allowed them to build that structure and then seed it with certain kinds of cells, and it actually would regrow cartilage. And so, that wasn't used in this particular instance, but these are sorts of things that as doctors, medical technicians, and people are figuring out how can we grow replacement body parts, if you will. I mean, it kind of has a little Frankenstein almost sense to it.
Yeah.
But, how can we do things like that to help people recover from serious injuries in a way that they really have pretty normal life afterwards, at least in this particular fashion?
So in your opinion, why the forearm and not the thigh, per se, something other than the forearm?
I don't have an answer to that. I mean, my guess is, it's somewhere where there's good circulation, so it'll go in there. Maybe you don't hit it as much. That I don't have a good sense of that. But when you think about it, that the idea that you can take something that is really quite foreign, cartilage, that's supposed to be somewhere else, put it underneath the skin, that your body knows how to deal with that, and that it will actually regrow or grow new the circulatory needs of that new thing. That's really fascinating. I mean, I've written a lot of computer programs, and there's no place where you can take something that's only for intense data processing and have it do input-output well. It just doesn't. You got to rewrite the code almost to do that. But yet our bodies have this sense of it can do things that it wasn't designed for, and it actually works well. I mean, again, that to me is a very well-designed system.
In case you're just joining us, we're with Dr. Jeff Zweerink of Reasons to Believe. We're talking about the positives of this experiment that took place. A soldier lost her ear in a car accident, and they regrew one from her own cartilage taken from her rib inside her forearm. We're talking about all the good stuff that can come of this, but part of the Weird Science segment is to ask what could go wrong. And when we're talking about humans and experimentation and new science, there's always the kind of dark side to these things that I like to ask our experts for Reasons to Believe about. What say you to that? What can we take from this experiment, perhaps looking down the line in the science community? What evil could be done with this kind of technology?
Yeah, that's a good question, Joey. And I have to say I'm struggling to come up with what sort of evil could come out of this. I do see one aspect of it, and it's kind of a side product of the fact that we're actually pretty successful at doing things to repair damages. And I don't know all of the background, but I do find it interesting as I was kind of reading the article, is that it looks like this soldier that was thrown from the car, it was just kind of a car accident, nothing having to do with battle, and probably because she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Now, there's this sense, and I've seen it in talking with my kids and others, it's like, I don't really have to take care of myself. I don't have to worry about listening to music too loud because they'll figure out how to regrow ear stuff, and I just won't have to worry about it. And that you kind of get a little bit cavalier about taking care of things or being disciplined to make sure that you take care of things well because you think, I'll solve that later. I don't have to worry about it. Right. And so I think that's probably, to me, what may be the biggest damage out of it. But at the end of the day, I really don't know what growing an ear and an arm, I almost can't envision what, at least voluntarily what people are going to do. I mean, maybe you could start thinking about cybernetic type stuff or, you could end up with, the Terminator type things, these indestructible, that seems a little bit far-fetched to go there. But, this to me seems something that unless it's until it develops a whole lot more, I don't really see a lot of downside to it. I don't know what evil you might be able to do with this, because any sort of evil sort of stuff would have to be involuntary, and there are just other problems associated with that. So,
man, good stuff, Jeff. I love when we have you guys on. I love your organization out in California. Reasons to Believe, reasons.org. It's where faith and science converge. You guys got to hit that site. Also on Twitter at RTB_official. And Jeff, you have a pretty premier and cavalier Twitter presence yourself, good sir.
I try to. It's, RTB_Jay's Waring. Just try and let you know of things that I find interesting and some of the author articles that I write and put out there. Really just want you to see that science and Christianity really do work together. And that I find personally that as I do good science, it informs my Christian faith and gives me a deeper faith. And as I grow as a Christian, I actually am more inclined to do my science well. So they actually do really work together personally in my life.
Well, Jeff, since we're talking about it, what kind of side projects have you been working on at Reasons?
Well, I'm in the process of writing a book talking about whether the universe had a beginning or not. And it's really kind of unusual to ask the question, how scientifically would you measure a beginning to the universe? And so it's just kind of exploring those ideas, and that's one of those areas where science and faith really do intersect, because if there's a beginning to things, then you have to ask, okay, why is there a beginning, and is there a beginner? And that's something that Christianity is pretty specific about, that the universe did have a beginning. And so just love exploring those ideas. And there's a book coming out of that. I think it's supposed to come out in September of 2019. So it's a little ways off, but that's what I'm in the middle of working on right now.
Well, September of 2019 will be here before we know it. And, you're talking about the idea of a beginning. I don't know about you, but I'm a pretty linear creature. And so every end has a beginning and vice versa. And my mind just starts to hurt and my eyes get crossed when I start to think about day one. If God has always been, when was the beginning? He's always been. So it just, and my eyes just went crossed again. Oh boy, here we go. But I'm sure this is the kind of question that, is going to be a challenge for you to answer. But based off of your scientific knowledge and pretty much how things work from the physics realm, this will be a fantastic read. Do you have a title for the book yet?
It's called Escaping the Beginning is the working title. Whether we end up with that, I don't know. But, there's just, as I look at the 20th century and even into the 21st century, seems to be this relentless push of what scientific advances seem to be pushing us towards the beginning. But then there's also a lot of ways where people say, hey, we don't need to have a beginning, and so this is a way we can get around it. But it always seems like the data comes back and says, no, that doesn't quite work. We really do have a beginning. And so just kind of looking at all of the different ways that that's happened. And, as I look at it in the big picture, it seems like all of that really does point to the universe really does have a beginning. But there's still a lot of scientific research to engage in that topic that's going to be very fascinating.
Now, I want to ask for a little sneak preview. Hopefully you'll get into the Earth Age debate.
Well, I mean, just be straight up and honest. The organization I work for and my personal conviction is that the scientific community largely has the ages of things correct. So the universe began about 14 billion years ago. The Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago, and humanity arrived on the scene about 100,000 years ago. And I find that very consistent with what Scripture says, which to me makes sense, because if God's the author of creation and God's the inspiration for Scripture, when we understand them properly, they're both going to agree. And so I just find that a great tool then for investigating how does the universe work, what does it tell us about how it works, and how does that inform us about who God is and how we worship them well.
I'm very confused because I was born in 1981, and I thought it all began on the day I was born. So...
Well, there are a lot of people who adopt that mindset. It's all about them.
And that's a struggle that I think every human being has to fight day in and day out with every choice and decision. And you know what? I just love, again, man, speaking with you guys, you, Fuzz, Dr. Ross, AJ, y'all are just fantastic people. I'll tell you what an awesome organization to be connected with. Again, online, reasons.org. Jeff, it won't be too much longer till we speak again. And in the meantime, man, I hope you have a great weekend and a fantastic Memorial Day holiday.
Thanks, Joe. I wish you the same as well.
You're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign. Hey, my friend, if you want to boost business, contact the show here at wenzworldradio@gmail.com. That's WENZ, worldradio@gmail.com. Extremely affordable rates and fantastic results await.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.